I feel pretty damn good, and it's nice to be in magnificent Berlin.
I'm not scared.
Well, I am. When the battle comes, promise you'll protect me.
I promise.
So let's talk about your show, Game of Thrones. You've been in it since the first episode of the second season.
Correct.
And your character is still alive.
Yeah.
How happy are you about this?
It's so far so good, but you can't rely on anything on this show. So I have no idea how long I'm going to last, if I'm going to get to the end. I have none of that. It's in a funny sort of way, it's kind of cool.
Yeah, are you aware of your character in the books, or?
I haven't read the books.
Okay, that's very interesting. Yeah. So you just work with the script that you get from the creators.
That's basically it. Yeah, that's what I want. That's what I kind of wanted to do. That's what, as an actor, that's what I'm doing. I'm not playing a character from a book. I'm playing a character from a script. So I try and keep my attention and my focus on the stuff that I'm going to be saying in the show, as opposed to all the other background stuff.
Yeah. Season 5 is a season of changes, a lot of changes. And,
worlds colliding, yeah.
Worlds colliding, and I'm interested in how you feel about the fact that the Stannis arc is now moved to the wall, where characters collide, which never met before. Is this something you enjoy a lot?
Yeah, it's really cool, because you have to remember, it was just, a lot of the time it was just myself and Stannis and Melisandre at Dragonstone, and it was all, marvellous. But now we've gone up to this, up to Castle Black. It's just really interesting to be working with other people whose work you admire on the show, and nice to get the opportunity to work with them. It's really nice.
And I feel like this is a new quality of the show, that you have this these new pairings of characters we never met before.
Yeah,
you see it in very different arcs.
Yeah, of course. Well, look at Arya with her, with what's happening to her, and Cersei is having a change of whatever, and Simon Tyrion, and even Jaime and Bronn going over to what do you call it, Dorne. Yeah. And so there's all sorts of weird manoeuvring going on within the Seven Kingdoms and beyond.
All this maneuvering, is there a story arc where you would like to be in as a character?
I don't really think about it like that. I mean, the one that I don't really speculate. The interesting thing that I do is when I get the script to try and work out in my mind what are the potential problems at me as an actor, and to make sure that that I fit myself into the story as well as I possibly can.
Right. So what I've heard is that you and many colleagues of you have never met before, because the shooting schedule is too different.
Of course, yeah. Well, and as well as that, some of them would shoot in Spain or Dubrovnik or wherever it may be, some in Iceland, and that's not the world that Team Stannis inhabited.
So you never.
So
we
meet them occasionally in the hotel and have a drink with them afterwards, but not on a regular basis. It just depends on the scheduling. They'd be leaving town when we're arriving.
Yeah. Okay. Back to Stannis. I have a few other questions concerning him, because I recently noticed that he is somehow more sympathetic than in the beginning. Of the show in season 2. There's this wonderful scene with his daughter Shireen.
Yeah, I haven't seen that yet. I haven't recorded it at home.
It's wonderful.
Yeah, so I hear. I've read lovely things about it.
Or this very respectful relationship between him and Jon Snow.
Yeah.
And how do you feel about him now in season 5? His development as a character? Is he like the guy we really look up to now in the fight against the Boltons?
Well, I think so. I mean, we've had so much bad luck since we arrived on the show that I think it's about time they got Stannis got a bit of luck, and that has happened with the Wildlings and beating them and getting Mance Rayder and stuff. So for the first time in the entire show, it looks like Stannis has got a bit of power, that his plan might come to fruition. But we shall have to wait and see.
Yeah, we have to wait and see. And what I'm really looking forward is you and your character and Melisandre clashing again, because this is something we haven't seen so far. It's like the calm before the storm. And I'm a little bit afraid or concerned about Shireen, because I feel like Melisandre is somehow interested in her. And you both, the PR team of Stannis, collide last season, Melisandre and Davos. And are we going to see more of this? Because of Shireen? You don't have to spoil anything.
I'm not going to spoil anything. I mean, there's always going to be problems with that woman. She's a dangerous influence, and no good will come of anybody that comes across her. But she's a great character, and it's really good for Stannis that he has me on one side and her on the other. So dramatically it works really well.
Yeah. And another thing which works dramatically very well for me is your relationship to Shireen. I was working with this young actress.
She's fantastic. Kerry's absolutely gorgeous, and she's really professional, and she's a delight, and has a little wicked sense of humour. She's a joy, and I mean I always kind of see her as a replacement for the son that I lost, and me, I hope for her as the kind of the father that Stannis is incapable of being.
It's like a glimpse of hope and warmth at the wall. I feel like it.
There's some very nice stuff there.
Well, you are not aware of the character in your books, but are we going to see now more of Davos while Stannis is on his way to Winterfell? Now in episode 5, you haven't seen it, but you know.
Yeah, that we're heading to Winterfell. Yeah,
right. Is he
so you want me to tell you what's coming up in the future episodes?
I don't really want to know exactly, but I'm really looking forward to Davos now maybe stepping up and again in the fight against Melisandre.
They have. You know, they've got this battle coming, haven't they? They're going to take on the Boltons, and you know, the original plan was to try and put Jon Snow in there as as Jon Stark, as Master or King of whatever, as Master of Winterfell, and I mean, he's turned down the possibility, which is a tad concerning for us. But I suppose it has to be done on the way to King's Landing. You know, if we're going to take King's Landing, it has to be done.
Yeah. Well, this is like the whole story about Davos in the books and many different stuff in the show is now changing because the creators go a different way than George R. R. Martin.
Yes.
And how do you feel about it? You don't really know the books, but I think it's still something when fans approach you and say, "Man, I see you in the book, and I want to see you doing this, but you don't do it on the show."
No.
What can you expect?
Well, there's a reason for that. I mean, the books are this size now, and there's no way you can fit all them in, and it was supposed to be like a season, a book. That was the original intention, I think. So you're talking about 10 hours as opposed to, the first one was written 20 years ago, and George wrote this incredibly complicated, beautiful story. But you can't transfer the book directly to television. It's just a different medium. So you have to kind of cherry pick the best moments. Televisually, the best way to tell a story is not necessarily the best way that it is in a book. So you have to make losses and gains and change things over, and that's just the nature of it.
Yeah. And I'm interested in how you would like to see the show ended, because I think you would like to be still alive.
That'd be nice.
That'd be really nice. But do you think Stannis can manage to climb the Iron Throne, or is there?
I think he's right for the throne. I mean, again, you can't. That's what the wonderful thing about the show is that it's incredibly difficult to speculate about who's going to be there, because a lot of other TV you kind of go, well, look, that's going to be the guy. You just know that's going to be the guy, and inevitably it is the guy or girl, whatever it may be. But the Game of Thrones, anything can happen. There's a beautiful unpredictability about the whole thing, and it's just going to be. It's going to be very, very interesting reading the last episode of the last season.
Yeah,
that's going to be really, really weird.
Do you have a favorite? Would you go with Stannis? Of course you would.
Of course.
Of course.
Team Stannis, man. He's the right man for the right job.
For the right job, right. Yeah.
It's the real deal. He's got to be there. He's got to get there.
There's only one reliable leader left in Westeros. Stannis.
So, your best friends in life, you're friends, right?
No. The funny thing is the cast only meet on red carpets. It's very strange. I mean, the first time we had a drink was in San Francisco, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, is this on?
Yes.
No, yeah. No, we've never been in front of the camera together, so... but that might change, though.
You never know.